Number 7. Glass cleaner. Let's say you were working at an altitude of 800 meters with clouds flowing. The sun is shining in your eyes, the cool wind blowing on your skin. But you have no time to admire all this beauty because cleaning 142,000 square meters of mirror glass is on the list of your work tasks. Industrial climbers work in such conditions in Dubai. Their duties include cleaning the glass windows of the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa skyscraper. A team of 36 cleaners, mostly made up of migrant workers, have been employed to man 12 state-of-the-art machines that travel along tracks fixed to the exterior of the building while its windows are washed. The work is a mixture of the latest high-tech developments and a good old sponge with soap. A special coating on the glass stops ultraviolet rays and repels dust to a certain point. But sooner or later, a system of 12 rail cradles located along the walls of the building starts to work, and the spire of Burj Khalifa is the top level. And since cradles are too heavy for it, some climbers have to climb up on their own. Number 6. Lamp changer. The famous analog TV and radio stations in North Dakota reaches 600 meters in height. Fortunately, there are no windows here, but there is another everyday problem. One has to change the light bulb at the top of the mast every few months it is used to transmit a signal as well as to warn pilots of aircraft and birds. It's hard to believe, but the lamp replacement is the same as in your kitchen, that is, by hand. On their way to the top of the tower, climbers only rely on 2 carbines which have to be permanently reinforced. The staircase step strength and the icy calmness, and the important thing is not to leave the light bulb on the ground. Number 5. Oilman. Oilman seems to be a rare, enviable profession. Brand new suits and the smell of fumes, which can be smelled a quarter mile away, pat those meetings and sky level of income. But in order to get to the top, that is not enough. Therefore, we will tell you about brutal and strong guys who really pump the oil, and not just collect interest from its sale. Oil drillers are away from civilization in basic medical care for long periods of time. When dealing with flammable substances, they are at risk of suffering from fire or explosion at every second of their working day, and constant physical stress under the conditions of high temperature, strong vibrations, and having constant concentration of attention while controlling the most complicated machinery. It's the job of your dreams, isn't it? Number 4. Poison extraction. Extracting poison from snakes is nerve-wracking and dangerous for sure. A herpetologist, the so-called reptile specialist, holds a poisonous snake by the head and forces it to bite a latex membrane on a poison receptacle where the poison is collected after the bite. There is another way in which the second specialist, with the help of electrodes, stimulates the muscles of the snake around the poison glands and makes them react. The question is, what is that risk for? The fact is, this poison helps prevent the effects of snake bites by making an antidote. And in order to make this one, you have to have samples of poison. Besides that, it is also used in many other medications. Therefore, vipers, rattlesnakes, cobra, and other worthy representatives of amphibians have to be shared. Number 3. Hot gloves. Imagine the following. Power lines at the height of several meters above the ground. A helicopter flies up to them, and a person lands directly on the wires. This person is conveniently arranged on the wires and begins their work. This sounds like an unrealized script from a James Bond movie, but these are quite real electricians working with high-voltage power lines with their bare hands. In order to reduce the risk of their work, they wear special current-carrying clothing because it's not possible to isolate workers from the ground like ordinary mounters. There is even a special team for work with high-voltage lines in England. The members are called hot gloves, for obvious reasons. Number 2. Smoke jumpers. Jumping with a parachute itself is an occupation not for the faint-hearted. And what about those who walk from the side of a plane to fight forest fires in hard-to-reach places at an early stage? In the US, the profession of a firefighter parachutist, or as they are called, smoke jumpers, is one of the most prestigious jobs. About 50 people applied for every open vacancy, and there are about 40 vacancies in every state. They say that people in the uniform of Smokies are applauded by ordinary citizens. The development of a forest fire is almost impossible to predict, and in its elimination, a whole team takes part in which each has his or her own role. It's not enough to be strong and courageous. The lives of smoke jumpers often depend on the correctly chosen strategy of extinguishing the fire and choosing the place of landing. Number 1. Diver welder. Another profession which is faced immediately by two elements is a diver welder. These two things seem to be incompatible: electricity and water. But due to the intensive evaporation of water and the release of gases, a bubble forms inside of which the arc burns and equipment and welding electrodes operate under a water layer of any depth. However, this does not negate the need to observe the strictest safety precautions. Difficult work and cumbersome equipment for the diver, poor visibility, and unstable positions are a real hazard. Any wrong movement or even an unpredictable flow of current complicates welding, so it is not surprising that only experienced divers are allowed to do this kind of work. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't